Hi everybody, if you haven't already met me, my name is Christopher Williams. From Indianapolis, Indiana. I will be one of the trumpet section leaders this year for the Blue Knights. This will be my third year in the drum corps and my sixth year total doing drum corps. And today I want to make a video about things that I wish I would have known when I was a rookie. By no means do I think I'm a master at drum corps and have all the answers, but I do have a few things that, just tips that I wish I would have known that I'd like to pass along to you on your first year. I want to start out simple thing that you're probably most worried about right now is packing. I'm not going to go too deep into this. Just know that there are some really good lists posted on the member pages. Just follow those, you'll be fine. Those have all the things you'll absolutely need. As far as how much or as little as you need to pack, everyone's different. I know some people who can get away with just packing one shirt and a pair of shorts and washing them every day in the shower. I'm not like that. I like to wear clothes and I sweat more than anyone you will ever meet. So I tend to overpack, and it's just something that I've come to accept and deal with. Most important thing though is just make sure whatever you're packing, realize that you're going to be unpacking that and carrying that, not rolling it, but actually picking it up and carrying it at 3 or 4 in the morning when you roll into a housing site and you're sore and you got bus legs. And just know that whatever you pack, you're going to be carrying. So my recommendation is to pack light, but more importantly, pack for yourself and your needs. So I'll begin with a couple quick tips. These are just little life hacks that will make your life a lot easier. Not necessarily anything deep, but just things that I like to do to make my life easier. Number one, always get up right at wake up. There are some days where you will just want to sleep in and kind of procrastinate. I've done this quite a bit in the past, and it hasn't really come back to bite me, but it really does lead to uncomfortable situations. Reasons to get up right at wake up. One, you get to listen to music, it's great. You get to breakfast earlier, you get first pick of breakfast. You get to put on your sunscreen earlier. If you don't put on sunscreen 15 minutes before you start sweating, it can actually sweat out and not actually work as well as it needs to. It needs to soak into the skin, just like any kind of ointment or lotion would. You won't feel as tired before block because you'll already be up and walking around for an hour. You won't be sluggish during stretch or anything. Running late to block is never fun. It's like the worst feeling in the world, knowing that you're going to get called out because you're going to be late and you're going to have to do whatever kind of social punishment is in order for being late. It's just not acceptable. Just get up on time. If you get up on time and you do all your stuff, you'll have plenty of time to be able to get to block and then some. Another thing is, along with waking up and doing things on lunch breaks and stuff, is do your jobs in reverse order. So what I mean by this is, if you get up and you go to breakfast and you have everything you need to do, you have your sunblock on, and the last thing you need to do is fill up your water jug, and you go to the water jug line, there's 20 people in it, and you know that if you get in that line you're going to be late, you have put yourself in a situation that's really unnecessary. What I like to do is, if I have a list of 5 things I need to do, I'll take a look at which one of those 5 things the least amount of people are doing. So if everyone's in the line for food, I will go fill up my water jug. Or if everyone's in the line for food, maybe I'll go get peanut butter and jelly, wait it out, do some assignments that I need to do. I'm taking an online class this summer, so do your things in reverse order. You'll get through it a lot faster, you'll have more downtime, and you'll be a lot less stressed out. As far as bus life goes, I'll talk more about this a little bit later, but little tips: get the little shower caddies that you put on your shower wall with the suction cups. You can stick those on the windows, have an extra shelf, it's really great. Get bungee cords, you can put those, just small little bungee cords, you can stretch them out, hang stuff from them with carabiners. And that's another thing, carabiners, you can carabiner anything, it's amazing. They're the little clips that are like this, that have one little opening. You can carabiner your water to your backpack, your uniform to your backpack when you're carrying it during EPL. You can carabiner a little water cooler to your bus. It's really great. They really come in handy. I've actually used them in real life quite a bit. When you are getting lip care, make sure you get lip care without the ingredient camphor in it. Camphor is spelled C-A-M-P-H-O-R. You'll be able to find it if you look in the ingredients. It's usually, if it's in it, it's in one of the first few ingredients. Camphor is actually an ingredient that when you put it on, it makes your lips tingle. It feels really good. And what that actually does is it takes the nerve endings in your lip tissue and actually burns the end of them off, which to normal people isn't that big of a deal, but for us brass players, we need to have as sensitive muscle memory as we can in our lips, so we need all the nerve endings we can get. Stop drinking caffeine right now. We have less than a week until spring training. If you cut it off right now, stop drinking soda, stop drinking coffee is a big one. You will go through your withdrawals this week instead of the first week of drum corps when you're really sore and everything. It's not fun. Stop running with music. If you're going around running around your parks or whatever, getting ready for spring training, just try a few times. No earbuds, no music, no nothing, because when we run in drum corps, we don't have time to go set up our earbuds and everything and listen to music. You have to learn to appreciate nature. You have to learn to think about things while you're running that will keep you entertained. Yeah, stop running with water. Another thing, stop running with water. I'm sorry, always run with water. Stop running with music. Another thing is, especially during the beginning of spring training, bring along some emergency packets or airborne gummy vitamins, or really any kind of multivitamin with vitamin C and immunity support. Your body, when it breaks down at spring training, will become much more susceptible to sickness around other people, and it's a lot harder to get better when you do get sick on tour, just because of all the physical activity and sun and people and germs that you're around. So really, really, really take care of your immunity. Make sure you're not out at any point in time. And then care packages is my last quick tip. If you have family members or friends that want to send you care packages over the summer, that's great. Make sure they're not sending anything super extra or unnecessary, because what you're going to have to do is you're either going to have to throw it away if you don't have room for it, or if you have room for it and you don't really need it, you're going to end up carrying around something you don't need all summer. So just make sure if you have everything you need and there's nothing you really want, just tell them to hold off on the care packages. Alright. So the first non-band related thing that I want to talk about is social relationships when you're on tour. It is super, super important to not be shy on tour, be yourself, interact with people, be nice to everyone around you. You'll find that the people you gravitate towards, you'll do kind of naturally, but you really have to get a feel for everyone, even outside your section, to make sure that you find your best friends. This is really important for a few reasons. One, making connections in drum corps can really affect your career, especially if you are a music ed major or a music performance major. You are marching with future band directors, future private lessons teachers, future professional musicians that are just great resources, and if you burn bridges in drum corps, then that could really come back to bite you when you're a professional in the music industry later. Even if you aren't in the music industry in school, having these connections in drum corps can really open up opportunities later in your life. Another thing about this is make sure you are nice to everyone and you help out whenever you can, because the nicer you are to people, the nicer they will be to you in your time of need. If you can help people when they need favors, they will help you when you need favors. And if you ever find yourself in a pinch during the summer, this is really, really a great lifeline. Another thing, this goes straight into bus life. Your social interactions will directly affect who you're around in the bus. We will get to picking up bus seats later in the season towards the end of spring training, but start looking now, considering now for people you want to be bus partners with. This is someone that you don't mind being close with, that isn't messy, that you will sleep next to and sleep on and live with and share space with for a considerable amount of time. This needs good thought and good pre-planning. Don't be like me. My rookie year, I was very to myself. I was really nice to people. No one didn't like me, but I never had that one, like, yeah, he's my best friend, or she's my best friend in the drum corps. And when it came to picking bus partners and bus seats, I did not have anyone. And this is actually a sad story, but it's true. We got to picking bus seats, and I ended up not having a partner and just sitting on a bus waiting for another rando to sit next to me, and no one ever did. And it's really sad sounding, but it's actually really cool because I spent my rookie year without a bus partner. It was great. I had a seat to myself. Don't do this though, because it won't happen to you. You will not be as lucky, I promise. What else? When you're on the bus, have fun, talk to people around you, sleep as much as you can, because sleep is going to be very hard to come by. You will not be able to sleep very well your first few weeks on the bus if you're not used to sleeping sitting up. It's really uncomfortable. Bus boxes. You can get a bus box. Basically, it's just like a little plastic Tupperware container that you keep all your snacks and whatnot in. Last year, I actually went without a bus box. I loved it. I had extra space, especially considering I didn't have any space above me because I was sitting underneath the air conditioning unit. So I had a little bit of extra space. I'm sure I lost more weight because of it, because pro tip, if you don't have anything to eat, you won't eat it. and then you lose more weight, which is great, especially for me. What else? Bus is hard, seat partners. Okay, another thing is, going back to making connections, drum corps is what you make it to be. My rookie year, I was 16 years old in high school, so I was just happy to be there. I was kind of enjoying it, being in a group where everyone around me was there for the same reason, had similar goals, and just wanted to be great. And I was just happy to be there. My second and third year, I really got second year itis and just kind of coasted through those years. I really regret that. I was just trying to have fun. I knew I wasn't in any danger because I was a vet, but I really didn't make the most out of those summers. I made some dumb choices. I wish I would have really made more of those summers, tried harder. And then my fourth, fifth, and sixth year now, I really see drum corps as a way to make connections. It's really an 85-day job interview, because you never know where your life will take you and where everyone else's lives will take them, and what connections you have. So really push yourself. Know why you're there in the first place. Push yourself to be as good of a person as you can be, because all the little things in drum corps will bleed into your everyday life, and it's either going to make or break you, and the drum corps and everyone around you. So really consider that. Hey guys, sorry for the interjection. Something that I wanted to talk about before, when I was talking about social interactions and being nice to people on tour, is toxicity, complaining, and core morale. Something that I had to experience multiple drum corps to realize was it's a vicious cycle between the stimulus that the members receive and how we react. And a lot of that is basically complaining. I wish I knew when I was a rookie that even though complaining sometimes is a stress reliever, you're getting things off your chest, you need to really consider, before you complain about anything really, one, what is this doing to help and change the situation that I'm in? And two, which is most important, what is this doing to help and change the situation that the people around me are in? Because something that you might not consider, that complaining or just like kind of getting something off your chest might cause, is the people around you to kind of bring them down along with you. So to give you an example, if we are in California and it is 110 degrees and we're on the AstroTurf and it is the hottest thing you have ever experienced, you can turn to the person next to you and say, wow, it is really hot outside. I wish I wasn't here. I wish we were in the air conditioning. Or you could turn next to them and say, wow, this is going to be a challenging day, but we're going to get through this and we're going to get stronger. And it's really, you're doing the same thing. You're expressing your disdain for the weather, but you're taking it taking adversity and putting a positive spin on it. And you will not believe the difference that this makes in a drum corps. Because if a drum corps can get pushed and then push back in a positive way, it will change the entire outcome of the season. Another example is, let's say this is the best year the Hornline's ever had. We sound amazing. We think the show is super cool, but it doesn't score well. And every night we are just getting beat by people that we shouldn't get beat by, and the judges aren't buying the show. Whatever, it happens to drum corps every once in a while. What makes or breaks a season is whether or not the members can look at those scores and say, well, we aren't getting rewarded for everything we need to do. I guess that's it. Or if they can look at the scores and say, we need to just rehearse better. We need to take a retrospective look within ourselves and see what we can do better, and just keep pushing forward and ignore that stuff, because it's really a vicious cycle of, if you're good, you have fun. When you have fun, you want to be better. When you're better, you have more fun, and it's just positivity builds on positivity. But if there's ever a disruption in that cycle, it works exactly the opposite way. If someone is negative, and it just takes one person, if one person is negative, it'll bring down other people, which will make rehearsals less efficient and slower, and we won't get as better as fast, and if we're not as good, it's not as fun, and you can imagine it's just a vicious cycle. And in the highest top tier drum corps, this conversation is not even a problem. It is the members' responsibility to stay mature about the drama they find themselves in and what they complain about, if they complain at all, because they know that what they're doing in a team effort is bigger than what is happening to them as an individual. So that is something to keep in mind. I'll let the rest of the video continue. Sorry it's so long, but I really think you're going to get a lot out of it. Thank you. The next thing I want to talk about is rehearsal and kind of like rehearsal strategies. Obviously, rehearsal is where we put the show on the field, where we get better, and it's really the most important part of the day other than your recovery choices. We will get more into specific rehearsal protocols. I just want to touch on a couple things as far as rehearsal goes. Rehearsal is what you make it as your own individual self, and everyone's individual selves will create a group atmosphere. The most important thing you as a rookie can learn to do at first is to be able to flip the switch. And what I mean by this is, at the Blue Knights, we take pride in being able to enjoy ourselves, be friendly with each other, have a nice lighthearted family. We also take pride in really being able to flip the switch and know when it's time to play, when it's time to have fun, even on the field sometimes, like when we're having water breaks or whatever, and then when we need to just immediately focus in, do our jobs, and rehearse as well as we can. A lot of people will say this is a choice, and really it is. It is a choice. It is the first step, but rehearsing well is a process, and it is a learned process. It's not something you're going to be perfect at day one. You will go through times of lack of focus. Sometimes you'll miss instructions, and every time that this happens is a time for you to reflect on it and grow as an individual and as a Blue Knight. Like I said, flipping the switch is a learned skill. It starts with a choice. You need to start by just deciding to flip the switch, and then as you go along, you keep making that decision over and over again. It will become easier, it will become second nature, and you'll be rehearsing like a pro in no time. And the last thing I want to talk about as far as rehearsals is, if you have ever seen a drum corps rehearse before you march drum corps, and they just have that like magic like aura about them, like, oh my god, they're rehearsing so well, this is nothing like my high school marching band. You need to just pretend, like fake it till you make it, that you are exactly what you think your dream groups are. Because that is the only difference between you watching your dream corps and some fan watching you rehearse is just the decision to rehearse like you believe you need to rehearse. I know I kind of made this realization when I had some of my friends come and watch me rehearse, and I just really, my friends and my students at a high school that I taught at, and I just really like stiffened up, and I was like, all right, yeah, I have to show off for them, I have to rehearse really well, I have to be perfect. And I thought to myself after they had left, like, why do I not do this every single rep? Why do I not perform like one of my students is in the audience every single rep? And it's really something that is better if you just realize now and just trust and just do than to make that realization 4 years into your drum corps career. Next thing I want to talk about are show days and what to do before, during, and after shows. Basically, a show day is you wake up, you rehearse, you EPAC load up your stuff, you get ready for the show, you get on the bus, you go to the show site, you get out, you warm up, you throw down, you put your stuff away, and then you kind of have the rest of the night to yourself until it's time to go to the next housing site. Shows for me have evolved over the years. Of course, when I was a rookie, I was just trying to survive shows, and because they were so new to me, I didn't really have the retrospect to like really enjoy shows and just kind of let them happen and to try and have fun. You need to be able to enjoy every show. You need to be able to hype every single show. We do about 30 to 33 shows in 40 days, and in the middle of tour, when it's really hot, you're in Texas, it's show 17, you're right in the middle of it, there will be shows that go by where they're in the middle of nowhere, there's not a great lineup, you haven't had a great day, you're not feeling well, and the show, like, before you know it, you'll just like black out, and then you'll be in the middle of the show. And shows like this will not be your best shows, and you need to do everything that you can before a show to really get yourself in the mindset of you are a performer, you have a job to do, there are people in the audience that you will inspire that night, and you just need to do it for everyone else around you, because if you absolutely do your best to have the best show you can and you just trust that everyone around you is, it's really something about shows where when everyone's like that, there's just like this quiet energy, and just you trust that everyone is doing their job, and it really becomes a magical experience, and you really get to let go in a show. Not your focus, but there are points in a show where like things are slow, like in the middle of a ballad where you're just standing there, where you can really like look out in the audience, realize what you're doing and how cool it is, and just try your best to just soak it up in the moment and live it up, because you only have so many years doing this and so many shows. They go by very, very quickly, and before you know it, you're in Lucas Oil. And if you haven't been enjoying your shows up until Lucas Oil, if you haven't been actively trying to hype and do as well as you can and perform your butt off, it's not going to come magically at Lucas Oil. That is also a learned skill that you have to really acquire. And it's a skill that will make your drum corps experience a lot better, because after every show you're going to just have a great sense of pride, great sense of happiness. Next, I'm going to very quickly touch on free days. We will get a few free days over the course of the season. Some will be partial free days, some will be completely full free days where we don't rehearse at all. I'm not going to tell you right now what to do and what not to do. I'm just going to tell you now to enjoy your free days as much as you can, because you only get so many of them. You're with your friends that you will probably never be with again in that exact same capacity. You're going to be in places in the country where you either will never be again or won't be there for a very long time. So just soak it up. Just enjoy yourself. Obviously don't do anything stupid. Do not do anything that will jeopardize your spot in the drum corps. Don't do anything that will harm your performance the next day or hurt your health. But really live it up. Just enjoy yourself. Don't try and make too many plans beforehand, because if you make plans and they don't happen exactly according to how you wanted them to, sometimes you'll feel like you wasted the day. Just maybe make a couple plans, leave things open, find your friends, have a good time, spend your money if you got it. Just live it up. The next thing I want to talk about is bad days. You will have bad days. You will hit walls, especially in spring training. The first wall that most people hit is in between day 7 and day 10. And this is because at this point, it's longer than you have ever experienced in a camp. It's harder work than you experience in a camp, but it's also just a chip out of the full 85 days that you're going to be on the road, and it's just not even half of what's the length of spring training is. And it's really a sobering thought, knowing that you're so tired, you're so exhausted, and you're not even close to the end. But what you need to do to get through walls is just focus on staying mentally tough and really focus on just taking one step at a time. When I have a bad day, I focus one rep at a time. I don't worry that there's 3 hours left in a block and there's 2 more blocks after this. I just think about, I put all my focus into what is the next rep. I put all my focus into the instructions, thinking about things that we haven't been doing well in this, specific chunk. I think about things that the staff would say afterwards. I think about how I can execute the rep the best. I do it to the best of my ability, and then afterwards I think about what I did, what I can do to do better. I put all my focus into listening to feedback and thinking about how that applies to me, because it always applies to you. Thinking about how that feedback applies to me, and then thinking about what I can actively do to put the feedback into the next rep. And then it's just a vicious cycle. And if you put all your energy into one rep at a time, one step at a time, literally and metaphorically, just taking things one step at a time, before you know it, the day will be over. And that's the thing about rough days, is the blocks last forever, but the days go by in a second. You will find yourself putting yourself in bed every night and feeling like the day flew by, which is really scary, because when you put all those days that go by in the blink of an eye, there goes a season, and then there goes 2 seasons, and then now I'm sitting here making a video after 6. Bad days, as long as you realize that it's just band. I mean, it's amazing band, and everyone wants to be great, but at the end of the day, we are playing band instruments and marching dots and dancing around. You will get through it. You will not die. You will not break. It's really something that you'll just learn as you go along. And it's something that even if you can't control yourself, if you can't control like how you feel after a bad day, it will happen for you. You'll have a lot of people around you that can help you out. The beautiful thing is that time is constant. Even if it feels like it's going really slow, time always ticks along at the exact same rate. And your summer is going to end as quickly as it would whether or not you're having a bad day or a good day. So that's always something you can like just inwardly look at and know. There are a couple quotes that get me through bad days. When I was at Blue Stars, I heard someone say, in drum corps, and really in life, but especially in drum corps, there are only good memories and good stories. There are only ever good things that'll happen to you that you will love to look back on, all the laughs and memories, or there are things that are just bull crap that happened to you and the people that are around you, and next year you'll be able to look back on it and have a laugh with the people who were through it with you. And it really turns those bad memories into good memories when you just think of it as good stories. Another one is the old Dallas Mitchell. You hear a lot about him. He was our horn sergeant the last few years. He would always say, choose happy. And even if it's kind of like false hype, if you put a smile on your face in the most adverse situations, you will find yourself having a better time, and you will improve, most importantly, you will improve the morale of the people around you, which will do wonders in the sense of the end product of your day and your show and the season. And the last one is, it's not a quote, just find the best in every situation. Be for others what you need for yourself. If you're having a bad day and you need someone to talk to, go up and talk to someone else. Go find someone else who's having a bad day, because paying it forward in that way it'll pay dividends in the end. You're going to make the best friends in the world. You're going to help someone else out, and then doing that for them, hopefully they will do the same for you and get you through your rough days. Speaking about rough days, I want to speak to the few of you that are alternates. I was an alternate in 2013 for a little bit, and I was an alternate at my rookie year at Blue Knights in 2016 for a considerable part of the season, and I ended up marching shows for all 4 of the instruments in the horn line. It was pretty crazy. It was rough. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in drum corps. It was really the only time I had ever hit a mental wall and felt like it was something that I couldn't handle. But I got through it. I ended up marching a few shows, and you will get through it. And if you ever need to talk to anyone, you can talk to me. I know you can talk to Brooke Vissock. She was an alternate. She was a fantastic alternate. She learned a lot of shows. She has some great advice and some great help if you need it. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Really quickly, here's how you become the best alternate. Being an alternate is hard. To make it you can make it a good experience. You can grow from it. It is your job as an alternate to do your job better than everybody else. You need to outperform the contracted members, the vets, the super vets, the horn sergeant, and the drum majors. And if you do that, you might be able to prove yourself worthy of having someone spot who maybe is become complacent or not being able to perform up to the expectation of the staff members. And it's really something where being an alternate is part luck and mostly your skill, your focus, your determination. You need to keep the right attitude. It is really hard to keep your head up. It's a lot easier to do when you know what you're doing. And again, just let us know if you need any help. But when you're an alternate, know your stuff, know your music, know your dots. Put in the extra work. Stay after rehearsals. Just basically show off. Show off what you can do. Show off your inner character when you're an alternate. And people will notice. Members will notice. Leadership will notice. The staff will notice. And it really goes a long way. Social media. I'm not going to talk about what to do or not to do on social media, but as far as personally, take a ton of pictures and videos, save your Snapchats, live in the moment, don't live behind your phone screen. Like when I take videos of things, I'll take them down and actually enjoy the present moment. These are memories that you will preserve, you'll look back on when you're older, when you're aged out, you'll cry to them, you'll love it. And these are some things that you might have forgotten otherwise. Memories kind of get lost as you go on, but the more pictures and videos you take, the better off you'll be in the future. Alright. And as far as posting on social media, be modest. Don't be cocky. just enjoy yourself. Show people that you are doing what you love doing and that you have been dreaming about doing this for a really long time. And there's a very fine line between being cocky about things and being proud of your accomplishments. Honestly, do what you need to do. If you post anything that's too crazy, I'll stop you, I'll talk to you, or someone else will. So take lots of pictures. And then the last thing I want to talk about, the very last thing, I know this is a long video, it's over a half hour. Don't lose the magic of the activity. Being in drum corps for the first time will really show you the inner workings of like how drum corps works and how we clean shows. And in the same way that like when you went from middle school to high school and you thought your high school marching band was like the coolest thing ever, you'll learn that drum corps is a family just like any other high school marching band. It's just really well organized and with really talented people. And you'll find that once you're in it, you'll kind of lose the magic of what it is to you. It's not like, oh my god, this is drum corps. It's just like, yeah, I'm a part of a drum corps and I'm very proud of that. But don't lose all the magic. When you start cleaning shows and you get harped on for things, you will learn what to look for in other drum corps performances. And if you go and watch other people's performances after shows, don't lose the artistry. Don't lose knowing that they're going through exactly what you're going through. Because it's going to be really hard to like not watch people ticking or to hear bad sounds and to pick that out and really kind of like pick apart shows in a way that you weren't able to before because you just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. Really, you should use your newfound knowledge to learn how to appreciate groups that are doing things really well. That being said, a few things after drum corps. When you get back, things will be weird. You will not be showering with a bunch of people, and that's lonely. You will not be eating eggs in the morning, sitting on your water jug with other people, and that is lonely. You will not be around much people at all, and that is lonely, and it's something that you will miss, even though you never thought in the middle of the season when you hate what you're doing that you would miss, but you do. Driving is weird. If you driving after not driving the least. Absolutely. For those of you that really know me, you'll know how true this is, but when you get back from drum corps, do not be an ass. Like, stay humble, stay modest. When I was a rookie in drum corps, I was 16 years old, and I went back and I was a senior in high school, and I thought I was the hottest thing ever, and I really regret some of the things that I said and did when I got back. It put a bad light on me, it put a bad light on my drum corps, and it put a bad light on the drum corps activity as a whole, and it's really something that I regret. So during the summer, after the summer, make sure that if you fit in that dangerous combination of you just got off your first year drum corps and you're heading back to your high school marching band, just shut up. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, just shut up. Just pretend that you are interacting with yourself. If you're ever going to do something, just imagine if someone else came up to you and were to say that thing to you or to show off that thing to you, that would you think they're kind of being not great, not a great representation of their drum corps and their family. That's just something you need to think about. Also, to my bigger fellows out there, what's up? Don't do that. Weight loss and weight gain, you're going to lose a lot of weight this summer, and you're going to gain it all back and then some after the summer if you don't change how you live from being on tour to being off tour. And this is still something that I haven't really figured out. But I only got one more chance to figure it out. Everyone is different, but I can guarantee you're going to gain weight back. Because you go from being very physically active and eating a lot of food, and if you come back, I promise you, no matter what you do, you're not going to be as physically active as you were on tour, and you will not be eating and if you keep eating that much food, it's a very dangerous combination. So yeah, you have to change something about your normal life. I know this was a lot. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. Please, if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask me, please ask other section leaders, you can ask your drum majors, you can ask anyone. We're all here to help. We've all been there, it's all been our first year, we've all had bad days, we've all had great days, and we all have our individual stories to tell, and memories to tell. Any question, I promise you will not bug any of us. We like talking about it, so I'm going to leave you there. Happy packing, safe travels. I will see you guys soon. I love you all. I cannot wait to just kick some ass with you guys this summer. So happy age outs, 2 age outs, and I'm out of here. MFBK, let's do it.